at them and said she told me so. Everybody asked me how I know. I smiled at them and said she told me so. Everybody asked me how I know. I smiled at them and said she told me.
So we are a bit after Caledine area, and there is a small tiny beach, which first I thought is this one, but I checked the map and it's just right next to us. But that one is private, so that's where I parked the car. I couldn't go in, so the only chance to see that one is from the drone, how this tiny little beach looks like. Anyway, this seems a really unique place so far. The trees are just different, the small roads that led you here are different too. Basically zero tourists here, only a couple of local, of course, people who live around. So actually it's happened to be that this beach is more interesting to spend some time on than the one I was planning to go to. So let me show you this part.
When you arrived, you came alongside to take me away, to lead me astray.
Okay, so this is the closest you can park legally, because there's a sign here, it's private, no entry. And I saw one car just passing by, but there was some local, I think. So I left the car there anyway, so we can get in by walk, but no cars. These are some private villas next to me, and there is a car I was talking about. I'm not sure what we're gonna see from this part. We'll give it a try. Looks like everything is private here, but it's still nice if you just leave your car there and you have a look that side of the area. I think it's still worth it. It's a really nice villas. And so this is maximum we can walk in here. It's a nice view actually. The water just super calm here. We came from there all the way this way, so we ended up here. Yes, so it's worth it if you just leave your car there, have a look around. It's a nice little beach area. You can walk around, make some pictures, and as I said, also is a kind of unique place compared to what I've seen so far. And because we ran out of time, it's already 4 p.m. So we ended up cancelling our beach day, so this is gonna be one of the discovery days. So I think we just carry on and go further this side of the island, so we getting to the east, closer and closer. So we're back to the car, ready to go. Let's go.
But I wasn't grown up in my But I wasn't grown up in my Oh,
ended up driving on a really interesting road. Check this out, off-road. Drops on the wheel screen, which means that we're really off-roading. Alright, so here you can see I'm using a follow mode with the drone with the DJI Mavic Air, by the way. So this is the point I set my home point, and can you see this house on the left, by the way, with the blue roof? More about this in a minute, just keep in mind. Yes, off-roads of Mauritius, there's many of them. It's not impossible to drive on them, but I mean you can't avoid them some cases. In this case we are going to reach Amber Island. Here is a picture of that, and it seems quite cool place. And anyway, so this was what Google Map ended up showing to me as a best way or route to get there. And so that's the northeast area of the island. But the tricky bit with these off-roads that the people don't really like you to drive on them. So in order to keep traffic out of these roads, they ended up creating these blockages. As you can see in front of me right now, I even had to stop here, of course, and see what I could do in a situation like this. As you can see, there's a gap, but it was still not enough for me to passing by. So in this case I managed to move this huge rock just like a half a meter, so it was enough for me to fit in between them. And yeah, but sometimes you're not that lucky, you know, then those cases, what can you do? You have to find some alternative solutions, go another way or something like that. By the way, I was quite surprised at this point how well this follow me function of the DJI Mavic Air is functioning and the responding and everything. The radio signal was very good at this point, and I didn't really touch the control. I was basically just left it on the dashboard, you know. I got better things to concentrate on. And yeah, so I managed here, but the tricky situation just coming up right now. I'm about to turn left to this main road. We reached one of the main road here again, but as you can see, there is another blockage there. So why are blockages here on the main road as well? I have no idea. This was the best way to reach straight to the beach where I wanted to be. And anyway, let's give a try here as well. But that was, as you can see in a minute, that was bad news this time, because the second I noticed that these rocks was just way too big. There was no way for me to move them anywhere. So yeah, at this point what could I do? You know, I just sent the drone anyway. You're gonna see in a minute. We were like 300-400 meters away from our destination. Yeah, at a distance you can see that's the actual island, but obviously I wanted to go there as close as possible, and so I'm sending the drone here anyway. but you know, the distance just way too much, just too far, so I could have done some much better footages for sure, in case we could have just reached the beach. But yes, anyway, and at this point I'm actually started to having some really bad signal, which led me to some problems, but more about that in a minute. Yeah, so I'm going here. You're gonna see the actual island in a second. There we go, partly. Okay, so this side is still obviously the part of the mainland, but a bit left from there, there we go, there was the main island. Here as you can see, there's no man's land, just maybe 1 or 2 houses in kilometers distances. That white little spot at the distance on the left top, that's our car over there is parking. So I actually still managed to fly quite far ahead, but yeah, so the house I was talking about earlier, with the blue roof, that's the house over there. And what's happening right now is my drone is heading towards this house, because as I mentioned, like 50 meters before that house, that was my home point. So that was when I took off the drone, and right on the off-road. So what's happening now, my drone is just heading towards the home point and landing, because the signal just happened to be so bad. I basically lost control over my drone at this point. So I just tried, you know, in what can you in this situation, I just tried my best to keep calm and look around, get as close as I can to the house, because that's some kind of reference point for me in this situation. So yeah, since I know where the house is exactly, so you know, I can go back there like in a few minutes by driving just where I came from. So here I'm just trying to look around and, you know, just referencing the field, everything, where I'm going. And yeah, but you're gonna see in a second at the altitude, like, so I couldn't go any further at this point. The drone just decided to, you know, landing, and it's, you know, drops altitude and stuff. And at the altitude like 8 or 10 meters, it's completely went off. And so that was the last pictures I saw. Yeah, so I went back there, and I ended up meeting these very nice couple. They were from Australia actually, and I told them I'm very sorry, but I ended up losing my drone, and it was actually landed on your property, your back garden or something like that. And if you don't mind, I just go ahead and try find it. Yeah, so they were very helpful, and the guy even gave me some massive machete, because there were some bushes, had to go through them. And also used the DJI's, you know, through the app, this Find My Drone, and that was the first time, luckily, I had to use this solution, and it was pretty accurate. I was quite surprised, and I managed to find the actual location of the drone, like few meters, you know, maybe 1 or 2 meters accurately. And yeah, and even if I got bitten by some Mauritius hornets at the back of my neck like 2-3 times in a row, it's still worth it, because I find the drone. And you know, these days this equipment just almost impossible to kill them. So it was just, even if it fall the last 8 meters or so, like no problem at all. It functioned properly, you know, I checked it straight away, and then yeah, I was lucky enough to find it with no problem. Yeah, that was my little drone losing situation project. But yeah, it was a happy ending, so there we go.
Missing someone is as normal. Missing someone.